Hey guys, thanks for having me be part of this. Thanks to Indra for asking me. So the organizations that are part of my everyday dealings, um, one is ASCAP, which is the Performance Rights Society, where I get royalties for songs that I have co-written, or if it's public domain, songs that I've arranged. And I don't have a lot of interaction with them. I just kind of get checks when I get them, and I do all my publishing stuff through them. I also work with SAG sometimes if I have, like for instance, I did some singing work on Pitch Perfect, so I get SAG day rate, and I get checks from them sometimes, and I have to, I have my member status. I'm not actually a member, but I have kind of extensions like free passes when I do a SAG gig, and I don't want to join for $3,000. I can do this thing where they'll let me be SAG in essence, um, and do the SAG gig. So I also interact with a bunch of people. I have a music lawyer who answers all my questions. He works through all the producer agreements that I have with Pentatonix and their label RCA. Anything that involves a contract that I'm not sure what it means, I'll always send it to him, have him look it over, just make sure that I know what I'm getting into. Anything where I'm negotiating anything, he's involved a lot with anything that's more than just, a very simple waiver. And he just advises me in anything legal. I also interact with Ed Boyer almost every day. He is mixing all the projects that I'm working on always, so I'm always interacting with him, fine-tuning mixes for various things, and just getting things where they need to be. For each project, things happen differently. I recently did a gig for CoverGirl where I was talking to their music producer, uh, the CoverGirl creative executives, also the advertising agency. So I was interacting with them, and everything else just kind of happens, for each project. So for the sing off, I'm interacting with TV executives, producers. Um, yeah, it just depends on the project. For Pitch Perfect, I'm mostly interacting with Ed and Deke, and also some movie execs from that. But it definitely changes. I definitely prefer face-to-face communication. A lot of things can get lost in translation when you're emailing or texting, and you aren't able to really hear the tone of voice someone's speaking in. So, when possible, I always prefer face-to-face. It's not always possible, and we do the best we can. And certain things, email is going to be more efficient. If you're writing something out that's long, that has to be very eloquent, I'd prefer email. If you're just doing business, sometimes back and forth is fine. But if it's anything important and nuanced, I definitely like to do face to face if possible. If not, a phone conversation, video chat, stuff like that. I don't have a ton of overseas contacts that I'm doing business with often. I did do some work with Tat Tong when he was in Singapore. He was doing some mixes for the Backbeats album. So, I would always catch him when I was up late at night. We would be on Facebook chat talking about it, and it would be early for him. And yeah, but I don't have a ton of people overseas that I need to constantly be doing business with. There'll be the occasional time when someone will email me. We'll have to have like a phone conference. I'll have to kind of schedule around it. But most of the time, people I'm dealing with are in the U.S. A lot of the time, it's going to be West Coast time and East Coast time. Um, so that's the main thing that I work with. I'd say my current contacts that have most contributed to the success of myself and PTX. First and foremost, Ed Boyer, who mixes and edits all of our recordings. He is the man. I work with him all the time. He's amazing. Bill Hare does all of our mastering for the most part and is great to work with. And then I'd say, people that contribute to my success, it's all different people. I'd say the people who are most important are the people that set me up and got me to where I am today, which are too many people to list, but Deke Sharon had a huge role in that, bringing me on, taking a risk on me for the Sing Off season two, and just everyone else who, all my music teachers, everyone like that, who got me in the position to do the work that I'm doing. And then once you're in that position, you're dealing with all different kinds of people. So there isn't anyone, who I'm dealing with constantly who's kind of constantly a force behind this. I mean, I'd say just Deke, Ed, and Bill are the three that I'm working with the most on various things. But, it's all different people. So, yeah. I'd say my preferred medium to network is just face to face. I don't do a lot of, cold calling, emailing. I get a pretty steady flow of gigs, so I don't really need to kind of reach out and find things, which is I feel very lucky about. But I meet most of my people just through other gigs that I've been recommended for, or I'll go to an acapella concert or show, or my friend's non-acapella show, and meet people that way. So I'm just always trying to meet new people, create connections, and create connections not just to get gigs, but just to genuinely create connections and be interested in what the other people are doing. I think a lot of people make the mistake of being overly kind of hungry when it comes to networking and just being a little too forward with the fact that they really just want jobs and gigs. And I think you need to just put yourself out there as a human with interests and skills, and just let the gigs happen naturally instead of pushing them on people. Yeah.